Peace, Father Divine, peace, Mother Divine, and peace to all the seekers and aspirants and realizers in the universal family of God, and peace to the embodied agents of God's occluded government on earth. Today we look at 7 letters from the 1940s and 1 quote from 1933 regarding what is perhaps the most important teaching, the ever-presence of God. The idea that God, with or without a body, is universally and directly accessible to all people who will tune in to the right frequency. This teaching is our grace and our guide and our comfort after 1965 and 2017, when the visible body of the Godhead in our tradition was withdrawn. Christ says, "Unless I go away from you, the Comforter, the Paraclete, cannot come." The word Paraclete literally means the one who stands beside you, the one who is with you, the Holy Spirit after the embodied phase of the dispensation. It has been mentioned before, but I will say, because it's relevant to these letters, that you will notice a slight difference in Father's signature. Some say Father Divine, some say Father Divine, or rather, Reverend M.J. Divine. Some say Reverend M.J. Divine, MSD, and some say MSD, DD. And that's because these cover the years when those honorary degrees were granted. Those degrees were honorary degrees granted by Northwestern College, a small college in Washington, D.C., that has since been absorbed, I think twice over or more, by other institutions. And I also remind any viewers, listeners new to Father's letters, that his affirmation at the end of the letters, "I am well, healthy, happy, joyful," etc., is an affirmation made on behalf of the universal body. Without further ado, letters on the ever-presence. The 28th of July, 1947, ADFD. Father Divine, writing to Mr. A.T. Swanson of Seattle, Washington. My dear Mr. Swanson, your letter of the 21st ultimo is at hand, and I write to advise it is not essential for anyone to contact me as a person, either in person or in writing, for the great essential is to make your mental and spiritual contact with faith. For in this spiritual process of believing, you gain the direct answer to your prayers. It is written, "It is not by power nor by might, but by my Spirit, saith the Lord of hosts." I am spiritually turning the hearts and minds of the people from the limited concepts and views they have been carrying around, and focusing their minds and attention on the positive life and consciousness of the Christ. Upon this foundation, a person will rise above the limitations of the earth, having a new birth of freedom under God. Through my teaching, you will find a new hope, a peace and understanding that will set your feet on higher ground and cause you to go forth in the newness of life, having the privilege to be as this leaves me, as I am well, healthy, joyful, peaceful, lively, loving, successful, prosperous, and happy in spirit, body, and mind, and in every organ, muscle, sinew, joint, limb, vein, and bone, and even in every atom, fiber, and cell of my bodily form. Respectfully and sincere, I am Reverend M.J. Divine, MSD, better known as Father Divine. Peace. The 1st of August, 1946, ADFD. Father Divine, writing to Mr. Tommy Smarch, Yukon Territory, Canada. My dear Mr. Smarch, I received your letter of the 26th and write to say, my spirit can heal your condition if you have faith. Faith is the virtue of recognition, wherein you realize consciously and subconsciously that God is a living reality and an ever-present help in the time of need. Think not that I am at one place and that you are at another, but realize that my spirit is everywhere present. Hence, I am right there where you are. If you believe my word and if you follow my teaching sincerely and conscientiously, and actually will live honest, competent, and true, my spirit will keep you healthy, happy, and prosperous. Thus make an effort to fulfill my law, that you may enjoy my blessings and become to be as this leaves me, as I am well, healthy, joyful, peaceful, lively, loving, successful, prosperous, and happy in spirit, body, and mind, and in every organ, muscle, sinew, joint, limb, vein, and bone, and even in every atom, fiber, and cell of my bodily form. Respectfully and sincere, I am Reverend M.J. Divine, better known as Father Divine. The 20th of August, 1947, ADFD. Father Divine writing to Miss W.S. Grace of Los Angeles, California. My dear Miss Grace, I received your letter of the 14th ultimo and am just getting to it today. However, I am glad to know that you have come out of the hospital and have a pleasant place in the rest home. You can live the life wheresoever you are, for as my spirit is ever present, even so are my qualities of life ever present to sustain, to prosper, and to help you on your way. With continued well wishes to you and to all for whom you have written, this leaves me as I am, well, healthy, joyful, peaceful, lively, loving, successful, prosperous, and happy in spirit, body, and mind, and in every organ, muscle, sinew, joint, limb, vein, and bone, and even in every atom, fiber, and cell of my bodily form. Respectfully and sincere, I am Reverend M.J. Divine, M.S.D., better known as Father Divine. Peace, the 19th of November, 1947, ADFD. Father Divine writing to Mr. George Saunders of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. My dear Mr. Saunders, I received your letter of the 20th ultimo and am glad to hear from you, although not to hear of your troubles. It is not that I need to go anywhere as a person to bless the people, for the very spirit of my presence is me, and therefore I am there to bless, to free, and to prosper both you and yours, even as you seek me in faith, and doubt not my word. I am expounding the law of the Christ, showing humanity wherein they err, and instilling within them the true concepts of the Christ, that they might have life and have it more abundantly. To think in terms of racial division is an evil that creates poverty and want. You are not a C, that would be C-O-L-O-R-E-D. You are not a C man, you are an American, and what is more, you are a child of God. Hence, forget the low-rating terms applied to mankind and claim your rights under God by living honest, sober, competent, and true, and you will rise right up out of your destitution into life, health, and prosperity. None need lack in God's abundance. Thus do not doubt, but have faith, and my spirit will bless you and yours, giving you the privilege of being as this leaves me, as I am and shall eternally remain, well, healthy, joyful, peaceful, lively, loving, successful, prosperous, and happy in spirit, body, and mind, and in every organ, muscle, sinew, joint, limb, vein, and bone, and even in every atom, fiber, and cell of my bodily form. Respectfully and sincere, I am Reverend M.J. Divine, M.S.D., better known as Father Divine. Peace. April the 30th, 1948, ADFD. Father Divine writing to Mr. J.B. Leathers of St. Louis, Missouri. My dear Mr. Leathers, your letter of the 15th ultimo is received, and I am glad to hear from you, and to know you believe in me, even through the faith of one who has been abundantly blessed, according to his conviction of my deity. Nevertheless, you will see that man's extremity is God's opportunity. As you sought the help of God, my spirit moved in its omniscience to lead you to the Godhead. Yet it is marvelous to know that it is not anything I need to do for you as a person, for it is my omnipresent spirit that creates desirable conditions for you and for each and everyone who believes on my name and directs his life according to my law, which is the life and the teaching of the Christ. To know God aright merely calls for the sincerity of aim, mind, and purpose. If you will from henceforth be honest, competent, and true, be clean morally and physically, and give God the praises, you will no longer be bound by the adversities of men in sin and in unrighteousness, but your faith and your life under the law will actually push the blessings to you, for your life in God will create and attract them. Let the truth be seen in your experiences, and you will gain the blessed privilege of being as this leaves me, as I am and shall eternally remain, well, healthy, joyful, peaceful, lively, loving, successful, prosperous, and happy, in spirit, body, and mind, and in every organ, muscle, sinew, joint, limb, vein, and bone, and even in every atom, fiber, and cell of my bodily form. Respectfully and sincere, I am Reverend M.J. Divine, M.S.D., D.D., better known as Father Divine. The 21st of November, 1944, ADFD, Father Divine writing to Mrs. G. Tisman of Brooklyn, New York. My dear Mrs. Tisman, your letter of the 15th is received, and I appreciate knowing that you value the services of one of my followers, Miss Peace Jonah. If Miss Jonah finds it difficult to make the trip from Newark to Brooklyn, she does not have to do so, for she can either find other employment nearer her home, or she could just move to one of the places established in Brooklyn proper, thus making her transportation easier. As my work and mission are universal, it would be a matter of impossibility for me to reside at everybody's home as a person, just to make it convenient for them to personally see me. But my spirit fills all space and is absent from none, thereby fulfilling the greater work of protecting, blessing, and freeing those who harmonize with me and who live according to my teaching of true evangelism. My ministerial duties take me to Newark, New Jersey a couple of times a week, although I am not bound nor confined to go there. We have righteous government forums there on Thursday evenings. Perhaps you would like to attend one of our meetings there and elsewhere, if it would be convenient for you to do so. You would get a broader outlook concerning my universal movement for peace and righteous government, and you would find that I have devoted followers who have never even seen me, for thousands live in faraway Australia and in other countries. Thus, wishing you success, this leaves me as I am, well, healthy, joyful, peaceful, lively, loving, successful, prosperous, and happy in spirit, body, and mind, and in every organ, muscle, sinew, joint, limb, vein, and bone, and even in every atom, fiber, and cell of my bodily form. Respectfully and sincere, I am Reverend M.J. Divine, better known as Father Divine. Peace, the 24th of September, 1942, ADFD. Father Divine writing to Mr. D.C. Craig of Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. My dear Mr. Craig, your letter of the 27th past has just come to hand for reply, and I am responding to say, millions and millions of such inventions would come forth into expression, and civilization would advance beyond man's ability to comprehend, if the world were unified together as efficiently and effectively for construction as for destruction. But to contact the infiniteness of the mind of God in order to bring forth perfection in scientific development, it is necessary for mankind to be born again out of the destructive mind of Adam into the eternal mind of Christ, the eternal God. Destruction has a destination, for that which is of the dust is destined to the dust. But by being born again, even as Jesus told Nicodemus, humanity can be lifted above the destination of the degrees of God, as being observed from a limited point of view, to and into the eternality of God, the eternal God. Therein is the place, in the consciousness of the presence of the eternal God, where righteousness shall cover the earth, where the deserts shall blossom as a rose. For it is a recognition that is above the concept of the limited degree of the high God, or the Most High God of David's understanding, wherein he recognized God as a God of war. But it transcends all degrees of comparison and reaches infinity, wherein there is no death, no barrier, and no limitation. The Garden of Eden automatically will come into expression, for in Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end are one. So as the mystery of God's presence is revealed, a new world will come into being above the realm of sickness, sorrow, and pain, where all will be expressors of the nature and the characteristics of the Christ, for they will be one with the infinite. With this recognition, you will be lifted above all adversities, and the trials and the tribulations of the world cannot reach you, as you remain in the flow of my Spirit. With best wishes to you and all who are concerned, this leaves me as I am, well, healthy, joyful, peaceful, lively, loving, successful, prosperous, and happy in spirit, body, and mind, and in every organ, muscle, sinew, joint, limb, vein, and bone, and even in every atom, fiber, and cell of my bodily form. Respectfully and sincere, I am Reverend M.J. Divine, better known as Father Divine. And here is an important quotation about our role in manifesting the presence that Father gave on the 15th of January, 1933. Father said, "I thought of how my spirit and my mind surround me, for you are my spirit and you are my mind. The very spirit of my presence and the presence of my spirit is with me, and it goeth forth according to my command. Therefore, in the very likeness of you, the spirit and the life which you say I am will go forth in your likeness, from you and your likeness, and in the likeness of other men. But the spirit of my presence will be using the likeness of your personality. It is wonderful. Naught can be against me when this shall have been rightfully accomplished, for so it is. The spirit of my presence and the presence of my spirit will go wherever a mind may think on me, and as true and as faithful as you appear to be personally, so true and faithful will your spirit be to bring all people into subjection to me. We are increasing and multiplying the visible temples of God, for the Spirit of my presence and the presence of my Spirit is sufficient to fill millions and millions and millions of temples, and it will not be discouraged until it shall have universally established itself in the hearts and lives of men. I'm blessed to have this note in Mother's handwriting, which says, "Convince yourself of the actual presence of God." And I've paired it here in my home with a photograph of her standing about where I'm sitting now, recording this message. We thank you, Father and Mother Divine.